After having lunch within the hearth, Runan proposed to the party that he wanted to talk with Phoebe, as he has questions to her in regards with all that happened within Waterdeep. The party was able to locate her within the Great Library. Phoebe told Runan that she does not have any ideas, nor even the whereabouts of the Rosenlands, after the City Watch ransacked their mansion. Runan asked her as well if she knows someone named Dot in the Scarface, to which she replied that the name does not ring any bell to her. She asked Runan, however, if he is fine telling Phoebe about this, as she guessed that these questions might be a personal thing to him. Either way, Phoebe let it go and told him that she has other business to do, so she left him to continue searching the library for books to read. Ferrant then asked the others if they are fine to go with him to look for Laura, as he also has questions to her. They easily found her on the upmost level of the tower, wherein Ferrant approached her again, hoping that maybe she can help him this time. Laura insisted and even ushered him to have a sit with her. Laura made a reading through her crystal ball, together with Ferrant, and through it, they were able to locate through her visions of a man hiding behind the shadows, who is also spying a group of strangers from a distance away. The next vision that they saw was that the man is now trying to run away from its captors, but unfortunately, he got caught and was even chained by these unidentified men. Ferrant asked Laura who the man is on her visions, and Laura told him that her visions lead them towards the person whom Ferrant desires to find. Ferrant guessed that it might have been his father, but he is still not convinced if it is true. Laura apologized to him as she cannot give him any specific details about the vision, as she reasons out that she still must further practice her skills on scrying. To ward off the tension, Laura decided to do a tarot reading for the entire party. Before she left, she warned them all to take heed and listen to what the prophecy said earlier this day. Since the day is still young, the party came to a resolution to use the remaining time of the day to search and peruse the shelves of the library, to look for answers in regards with the questions that has bombarded them so far. Runan went to the section of the library that speaks of the dragons of the land, hoping to find answers corresponding to the cult of the dragons. Ferrant searched the hall section of the library that mainly talks about the region of Anne, from its geography to its government. He also went to search for books that talks about the different deities of Faerun, specifically the Raven Queen, as he wanted to learn more about his patron. As for Cynthia, she went to look for books and documents about edible exotic meats and how to cook them, as she realized that she will be traveling a lot with her companions on the wild. Tofu did a research about the different beasts that roams the land of Faerun, especially the owlbears and the wolves. She got amused that there are actually different species of owlbears and wolves per region. Shade, on the other hand, went to the merchant section of the library in hopes of finding a book about scamming. Unfortunately, he was only able to find a book that talks about the art of using cunning wits on business operations. Lastly, Huger also went to search for books regarding with the various battle styles and techniques that existed within the land of Faerun. He was able to grab one that talks about the Eastern style of martial battling. Time slipped them all by till they realized that it's almost sundown. Iman asked them that it would be best for them to leave the library, as the acolytes will start doing their daily maintenance of the place. They all left the establishment and proceeded to have dinner back at Conder's pub. Shade and Sedusa left the party and decided to have their supper back at the cabin. At the pub, after taking their orders, Iman was so intrigued to what happened to them today, so she asked about the identities of these adventurers. After having supper, the party went back to their cabin to get some rest. However, before they sleep that night, they heard Lorifera knocking on their door, so they let her in. Lorifera then quickly told Ferrant that she has a lead of where his father might be. She told him that she tried to look back again through her visions, and gave him only physical details of what the place looks like. Shade heard this and told all of them that she is talking about of Katla, the city capital of Anne. He also told them that it is also where his family lives. He then proceeds to ask them not to proceed going there as he despises his family a lot, and that he wouldn't want to see them as of the moment. However, Lorifera told them that the man in her vision might be in danger by now if they don't get there soon, so the party decided to go there by next day. Next day came, the party went back to the library wherein they were approached by Phoebe. She told everyone that she has heard from Laura that the party will be heading to Anne. She then asked them if they can escort her toward south, as she is also going to the same direction as well. Tofu told her that she can come, to which the party agreed as well. They took their last meal within the keep at the hearth and proceeded to head towards the main gate, wherein Iman bids them farewell. Tofu then remembers that her wolf companion, Mizo, and asked the party if they can get him first before heading to Anne. Phoebe told them that she is fine with it if the group will escort her toward south. The party left the towering walls of Candlekeep and headed back towards the Navarino. Cynthia told them that they will just have to pass through again the canyon. She led the group within its maze-like passageways, and while traversing the rocky paths, Sedusa and Shade informs everyone that they noticed something strange. Cynthia then decided to lead all of them stealthily, and upon heading further, she noticed several burned marks on the surfaces of the rocks that surrounds them. She then continued to lead them ahead and noticed a creature with a blue skin. She then informs everyone that they must walk as quiet as possible, but unfortunately, Farinth made crunching noises with his heavy footsteps that attracted the attention of the blue-skinned creature, which is a bear, and started to attack the party, together with a couple of basilisks with it. Sadly, Tofu got petrified from the gaze of the basilisks, and she turned into stone. Huger saw this and decided to make use of his shield as a towering wall to cover for Tofu. Unfortunately, the bear unleashes a tremendous lightning breath towards the direction of Tofu that caused her to crack even with the shield from Huger. Cynthia noticed this, and she immediately went into action of carrying the poor halfling to safety. Farinth also saw the gaze of the basilisk, but he shakes it off with his rage. Phoebe went to the front and flung a couple of concentrated burning energy towards the bear that exploded into a cloud of flames. Sedusa followed her to the front and casted her signature spell, aiming to deafen the creature with it. Renan followed this up with his arrows from the back. However, just seconds after he released his arrows towards the serpentine monstrosity, he saw how Cynthia took a direct hit by the monster's terrifying lightning breath, causing her to fall down to the ground and twitch as her soul left her body. Shade was able to dodge away just in time from the deadly lightning beam, but the impact from the blast made him unconscious. Renan also noticed that Tofu's statue resounded another crack from the blast that made him worry even more. And so, he showered another barrage of arrows towards the monster that caused it to flinch and run away from the combat. Hearing Renan, Saltina noticed him trying to wake up Cynthia back to life, and she quickly ran towards her cold body. She tried waking her up, but alas, she had already departed. She also saw the unconscious body of Shade, so she quickly conjured a healing light to bring him back up again. However, the dead body of Cynthia still disturbs her. Even with confusion on how her power works, Saltina decided to believe on the power bestowed upon her by the unicorn and decided to make a ritual to call back the soul of her comrade. She then insisted everyone to make an active offering, anything that can help them recall Cynthia's soul back. Renan then decided to use the pearl from his magical quiver to call upon the name of Valkyr, who is known to be the gods of the sailors and sea travelers. He pleaded to him to bring back Cynthia back, to which the pearl dissolved as a sign of approval. Sedusa tried to make a performance that Millel, the gods of songs and poetry, would hear, but she is too shocked on what just happened that she cannot focus on to her singing. Farinth tried to make a connection with the Raven Queen and begged to her to bring back Cynthia. The Raven Queen heard his plea and sent a raven as a sign of approval as well. Huger tried doing a compression to Cynthia's chest, but Saltina noticed that he's doing it too heavy and that he might break her ribs, so she stops him. She then looks at Phoebe, hoping if she can do something about Cynthia. Phoebe paused for a moment and thought that maybe she can use her magic missiles as a defibrillator to shock her conscious back again. She then conjured blue bolts of energy and slowly hits the chest area of the dead body of Cynthia with it. After doing so, Saltina then focused her energy on her hands and touches Cynthia's body with it. The light from her hands left her and moved to the body of the dead maiden. Cynthia was then enveloped in white and golden light. Her body slowly lifts up from the ground and swirling wind surrounds her. It gradually subsided and drifts her body back to the ground again. The whole party saw her eyes open, and she gasped for air like she just almost drowned. Cynthia looks at everyone and started hugging them, thanking them for bringing her back to life. The party then heard more noises coming from the back of the canyon, and Renan asked Saltina if she can have her familiar check what it is. The Quasit returned to them and informed everyone that there are cyclops roaming around the passageways. The party decided to make haste and leave the canyon. Cynthia and Farinth brought the stone tofu. It didn't took them long before they finally get to the shore, where they see the Navarino in a distance. The party, however, was thinking on how they will bring Tofu to the ship, as they cannot bring her with them by swimming as they will surely sink and might even break her apart. Hearing this, Phoebe told them that she has an idea and have them all proceed to the ship. After swimming and upon getting to the ship, they were all greeted again by Captain Rowe, who has a confused expression on his face as to why everyone looked so rough and rugged. Renan shared to him a short brief of what just happened on their way towards the ship. Shortly, Pelias informed them that Phoebe seems to be doing something, to which the tiefling maiden conjured a dimension door, in order for her and petrified Tofu to transport with ease to the ship without any difficulty.